Today, we're diving into one of the most beloved ballets of all time, Swan Lake. This ballet is not just a dance performance. It's an emotional journey that takes us into a world of love, betrayal, and redemption. So, get ready to discover the magic and beauty that makes Swan Lake a timeless masterpiece. But do you really know the story of Swan Lake? This work was composed by Tchaikovsky between 1875 and 1876, and surprisingly, it wasn't very well received when it premiered at the Bolshoi Theater in 1877 in Russia. At the time, the work was considered a complete failure, and both the orchestra and the dancers were flooded with criticism. However, as with many other great works, true appreciation came with time. In the early stages of this repertoire ballet, the Bolshoi Theater commissioned composer Tchaikovsky to write the score, but he wasn't particularly enthusiastic about the project. He even said it was one of his least favorite compositions, which is incredible considering how iconic and beloved this score has become. From its majestic overture to the more delicate and tragic themes, the music of Swan Lake is an emotional journey in itself. Each note seems to dance in the air, guiding the graceful and powerful movements of the dancers. Who doesn't get goosebumps listening to the majestic opening or the sorrowful lament of Odette's theme? The score of Swan Lake is a masterpiece in its own right. Tchaikovsky managed to capture a wide range of emotions through his music, from the majesty and grandeur of the court scenes to the deep sadness and despair of the darker moments. The music is as essential to the ballet as the dance itself, creating a truly immersive and emotional experience for the audience. Swan Lake is divided into 4 acts, each more captivating than the last. Let's take a tour of this magical story. Act 1. The story begins with Prince Siegfried celebrating his coming of age. His mother, the queen, wants him to marry a princess, but Siegfried is not interested in marriage. He is young, full of dreams and hopes, and does not want to be tied down so soon. At the end of the celebration, his mother presents him with a crossbow, a gift that changes the course of his life. Act 2. The encounter with Odette. Later that night, Siegfried and his friends go hunting in the forest. They encounter a group of swans, and, while following one of them, Siegfried stumbles upon an enchanted lake. It is here that he meets Odette, a beautiful princess cursed by an evil sorcerer named von Rothbart. By day, she is forced to live as a swan, returning to her human form only at night. Odette tells Siegfried that the curse can only be broken if a man who has never loved before swears to love her forever. It is a moment of hope and despair. Siegfried, immediately enchanted by Odette, vows to help her. They fall in love, but they know the path to happiness will not be easy. The third act takes place at Siegfried's palace, where a grand ball is being held. Von Rothbart, determined to maintain his curse, brings his daughter Odile, disguised as Odette, to the ball. Siegfried, fooled by the appearance, declares his love for Odile, thinking she is Odette. Odette, watching from afar, is devastated. Siegfried realizes too late that he has been deceived, but the damage is already done. In the final act, Siegfried rushes to the lake to find Odette and beg for her forgiveness. He finds her and confesses his love, expressing his deep regret. Odette forgives him, and they dance together, but their happiness is short-lived. Von Rothbart appears and tries to separate them. In a final confrontation, Siegfried battles von Rothbart, but the curse is not easily broken. Realizing they can never be together in life, Odette throws herself into the lake and drowns. Seeing this, and knowing he cannot live without her, Siegfried follows her in death. This act of true love breaks the curse, and they are finally united in death. It is a tragic but incredibly powerful ending, reminding us that true love knows no bounds. The ending of Swan Lake is not always the same. There are different versions. In some, it is a tragic ending, and in others, it is a happy one. But the most popular and widely performed version is the tragic one, where both Odette and Siegfried die together in the lake. Interestingly, the role of Odette/Odile is traditionally danced by the same ballerina. This role is considered one of the most challenging in the ballet world, requiring not only technical skill, but also the ability to convey a wide range of emotions. The famous Black Swan pas de deux, where Odile dances in black, is one of the most demanding parts of the ballet, featuring a series of complex pirouettes and fouettes. Another highlight is the Dance of the Little Swans, also known as the Dance of the Cygnets. This dance, performed by a group of ballerinas dressed as swans, is one of the most iconic and challenging in ballet. The precision and synchronization required for this piece are impressive, making it a spectacle to behold. Swan Lake has become one of the most popular works in the ballet repertoire worldwide. Ballet companies from all over the globe perform this masterpiece, and it is often considered a must-see for ballet enthusiasts. Besides traditional performances, Swan Lake has been adapted in many different forms, including films, operas, and even ice shows. Some of the most famous adaptations include the psychological thriller Black Swan, directed by Darren Aronofsky and starring Natalie Portman, and the animated fantasy film The Swan Princess, directed by Richard Rich. These adaptations bring new perspectives and interpretations to the classic story while keeping its spirit and emotion intact. But what makes Swan Lake so relevant and beloved to this day? Perhaps it's the perfect combination of music and dance, where every note of Tchaikovsky seems to dance in the air, guiding the graceful and powerful movements of the dancers. The music is a masterpiece on its own, with themes ranging from the purest lyricism to dramatic intensity, reflecting every emotion of the story with soul-stirring depth. Since its premiere, Swan Lake has become a staple of the classical ballet repertoire, and its productions have proliferated worldwide. The reason for its enduring fame lies in its ability to connect with universal human emotions: love, loss, hope, and despair. It is a work that challenges dancers both technically and emotionally, demanding not just technical perfection, but also profound emotional commitment. Some performances of Swan Lake have gone down in history. The failed premiere in 1877 at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow was not a harbinger of its future glory. It was only in 1895, with the choreography of Marius Petipa and Lev Ivanov at the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg, that the ballet gained the recognition it deserved. Since then, great ballet artists such as Rudolf Nureyev and Margot Fonteyn have elevated their interpretations to legendary heights, captivating audiences and inspiring new generations of dancers. Every performance is unique, bringing new nuances and interpretations to the story. Some iconic moments include Anna Pavlova's performance, which brought new emotional intensity to the role of Odette, and Rudolf Nureyev's interpretation, whose technique and passion redefined the role of Siegfried. Swan Lake is more than just a ballet. It is a cultural phenomenon. It has influenced not only the world of ballet, but also music, cinema, and literature. Films like Black Swan and The Swan Princess have brought the story to new audiences, exploring themes and emotions that continue to resonate. Additionally, Tchaikovsky's music has been used in various other art forms, from classical music concerts to movie soundtracks. The score is one of the most recognizable and beloved in the world, continuing to enchant and inspire people of all ages. So, why does Swan Lake continue to be so loved and relevant? Perhaps because, at its core, it is a story about the power of love and sacrifice. It is a story that reminds us that true love can overcome even the most terrible curses, and that, even in tragedy, there is profound and touching beauty. Swan Lake is a testament to the power of art to touch our souls and connect us with something greater than ourselves. It is a work that continues to inspire and enchant generation after generation, proving that some stories are truly eternal. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of Swan Lake, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends.